Thank you for judging. We absolutely could not put on this event without you.
This video will go over some basic rules and guidelines for judging, as well as review some specific events.
Let's get started.
Debate can sometimes be intimidating to a new judge, but it doesn't have to be. Anyone can effectively judge a round of debate. While we will cover some terms and guidelines in this video, it is the job of the debater to make sure that you understand and are persuaded by their arguments. Ultimately, debate rounds come down to effectively conveying reasoning and analysis to the judge. Any team or competitor that does this best should win the round. How should you decide a debate round? Skill and analysis, which includes not only the analysis of the resolution, but also analysis of the argumentation in the debate as it progresses. Validity, clarity, and organization of arguments, including writing and reasoning within a competitor's own case, as well as the refutation of their opponent's case and argumentation. Use of evidence. This includes the proper use of sources to form sound conclusions. Whether or not an argument requires evidence to be persuasive is up to you. Effectiveness of delivery, which includes a competitor's speaking skills and persuasiveness. Remember that while effective delivery is important, in debate, argumentation should be the first consideration. What should not influence your decision? The resolution. Because debaters cannot choose which side of the resolution to advocate, you should not vote based on prejudices in favor of or against the resolution, preconceived notions or arguments. You should evaluate the round based only on the arguments that the debaters make and not on your personal opinions or on the arguments you would have made if you'd been debating. Debating style. You should not penalize competitors if their style, either in case construction or delivery, differs from that which you personally prefer, but rather you should evaluate all styles on the basis of their effectiveness. Other things to note. If a debater claims that a rule was broken by the opposing side, you should not vote based on this accusation. Instead, you should write two things on the ballot: what the accusation is and your observation of what actually happened. Then decide the debate as you normally would. If there were any rules violations, they will then be resolved in the tabulation room. Debaters may argue about what a particular piece of evidence says. You may ask to see any evidence you would like after the round. You are not required to ask for or look at evidence, but if it will help your decision, feel free to ask the competitors to view it. Be sure to return the evidence to the teams it belongs to when you are finished with it. Ballots. Debate ballots come in triplicate. The white and yellow portions of the ballot will ultimately go to the debaters so they can read and utilize your comments. The pink portion is for the tabulation room. Once you've decided and written in the winner of the debate and entered speaker points for each debater, please tear off and return the pink bottom sheet of your debate ballot to the judge table. You may then spend as much time as you wish writing comments for the debaters on the remaining portions of your ballot. The faster we get your pink sheet, the faster we can get the next round started and keep the tournament running on time. Public Forum Debate, or PF, is a team event in which debaters advocate for or reject a resolution. Debaters should display solid logic and reasoning, advocate a position, utilize evidence, and communicate clear ideas and solid conclusions. All debaters should behave in a professional and respectful manner. No new arguments may be introduced in the final focus. However, debaters may include new evidence to support prior arguments. Every round of public forum begins with a coin toss. The winning team has the option of choosing either side, pro or con, or the speaking order, first or second, in the round. The losing team makes the remaining choice, either side or speaking order. After the coin toss, fill out your ballot with the team speaking first on the left side. If you like, ask the debaters to fill out the top of the ballot for you. Because public forum debates are shorter, we may ask you to judge two debates in the same round. You will receive two ballots. Debaters will enter the room and debate, then the next set of debaters will enter the room to debate. Please make your decision on the first debate before the second debate starts. Lincoln-Douglas debate, or LD, focuses on two debaters clashing over a resolution of value, which means they're focusing on what ought to be over what is. Each debater has the burden to prove his or her side of the resolution more valid as a general principle. The affirmative debater should present a case in favor of the resolution, give definitions of any terms, and provide a value and criterion for judging whether or not a world in which the resolution is true would be preferable. Values are ideals held by individuals, societies, governments, etc., which serve as the highest goals to be considered or achieved. Those values could include concepts like liberty, freedom, or safety. Debaters should provide clear definitions for their values. A criterion helps to show that the value chosen is enhanced by the position the debater takes on the resolution. The negative is free to develop any type of case or no case at all, but must clash with the affirmative and meet the issues stated in the resolution. The better debater is the one who, on the whole, proves his or her side of the resolution more valid as a general principle. Students are encouraged to research topic-specific literature and applicable works of philosophy. LD debates are shorter, so we may ask you to judge 2 debates in the same round. You will receive 2 ballots. Debaters will enter the room and debate, then the next set of debaters will enter the room to debate. Please make your decision on the first round before the second one starts. Policy is a 2-on-2 event in which the affirmative team proposes a plan and the negative team argues why we should not implement said plan. The ultimate goal of the affirmative is to show the status quo, or the way things are in the world without the plan, is worth rejecting in favor of living in a world where the plan is adopted. The affirmative does not have to demonstrate that the plan would pass in the real world, only that it should. In many circumstances, teams will address the stock issues of a case: harms, inherency, topicality, and solvency. Harms are something bad in the status quo. The affirmative needs to prove that there are real harms in order to justify implementation of their plan. Without harms, there is no reason to act. Inherency explains the barrier that prevents plan from being enacted. The affirmative must prove that either their plan has not been done or that there is something blocking its implementation. Topicality is the argument that suggests that the affirmative needs to present a case that fits under the umbrella of the resolution. If the plan does not belong or does not fit, then no matter how convincing the case, it should be rejected by the judge. Solvency is the affirmative's ability to rectify or reduce the harms presented in the debate. To win, the affirmative must show that their plan improves the status quo or is better than the alternatives. The presumption in policy debate is that if the negative can win one of the stock issues, then they win the debate. The negative can also win if they demonstrate that the harms of the plan outweigh the benefits through disadvantages and critiques. Disadvantages are arguments that are designed to show unintended negative consequences of enacting the affirmative plan. If the negative's disadvantage outweighs the affirmative's benefits, the negative should win the debate. The negative may also propose an alternative to the affirmative plan in the form of a counterplan. Counterplans are used by the negative to show that there is a better option available for solving the affirmative harms, or one that avoids its disadvantages.
Legislative debate. The most important difference between legislative debate and other events is that there is no predictable order in which the competitors will speak. Each competitor may speak several times or not at all. They will ask questions, make motions, and take turns presiding or controlling the flow of the round. For this reason, it is absolutely critical that you make notes on their individual ballots every time you see something you like or something you dislike. At the beginning of the round, take note of their appearance. You can label them in whatever way makes the most sense to you. Use their hair color or style, accessories, and clothes. For example, AZ123, long blonde hair, black sweater. At the beginning of the round, you will receive an item of legislation from each competitor. You decide the order they debate the legislation in, but they will decide how many bills and resolutions get debated. You might see them debate one or all of them. Choose wisely. Since competitors write their pieces of legislation themselves, you may also consider their writing and legislation ideas when ranking competitors. In legislative debate, arguing about the rules is expected and occasionally necessary. You should make sure that competitors provide direct quotations from the rulebooks and have physical copies of the evidence. You should not be shy about asking to see the evidence if the presiding officer is unable to resolve the argument. Finally, be aware that some competitors may speak less through no fault of their own. Please do not punish competitors who speak less or whose legislation does not come up for debate. Instead, rank competitors based on the totality of their performance. Reward behavior that you would want to see from real politicians representing you and your district.
This video does not cover everything. One of the most fantastic things about debate is that competitors are allowed to create their own style of theory and delivery. If you hear anything that is unfamiliar to you, treat it as any other aspect of the case and treat it accordingly. Those are our events today. Please feel free to ask any additional questions at the judges' table.
Once again, thank you so much for judging.
We couldn't do what we do without you.
Have a good time today in rounds.